Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing what I thought of the awesome, emotional, and wowing second half of season 5 of everybody's favorite Netflix show, Lucifer. The second half of season 5 premiered today, wrapping up season 5 and setting us up for the 6th and final season, the real final season this time. And oh boy, is there a lot to unload, talk about, and digest. Now, before I begin, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review. So if you haven't seen the second half of Lucifer season 5, or if you're currently watching it and you haven't finished it yet, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing, obviously, some enormous WTF moments and gigantic spoilers you do not want to have ruined for you, believe me. So this is your spoiler warning. You have been warned. That being said, let's dive right back into it. Wow. There have been some emotional moments in the show in the past, but this is the first time ever that this one really moved me. And just to give you all a brief backstory, I'm fairly new to the Lucifer bandwagon. I actually binged the entire series up all the way up till season 4 during the past year. And I was able to watch the first half of season 5 along with the rest of you when it first dropped. Because obviously I was caught up and fully aware of what was happening at that point. But it's been an absolute pleasure to binge watch it. It's such a great show, and I'm glad I watched it based on several friends' recommendations, one guy in particular. But yeah, so I was late to joining the bandwagon or the party, but hey, I'm here at the party and I'm glad that I'm here. So I gotta say we've seen characters, big players die before, but it's been a while since we've lost a major player. And I was feeling sad about Dan's passing, and I hated seeing the other characters in such grief and mourning. But the one that really broke me, the one that started to make me tear up because I could feel my eyes getting watery, and I almost broke, was when Trixie walks into the ER. And of course, her mother has to put on a brave face, and Trixie immediately goes into denial that her father's not dead and whatnot. And that was just absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, it was already shocking. We were still reeling from shock from his death, but oh, it was heartbreaking to see Trixie's reaction. I mean, your heart just rips in half when you see something like that. So that was shocking. But I'm holding out hope that Dan will be back for the 6th and final season in some capacity or form, whether as himself or as a tortured soul in hell, where he unfortunately is. But hey, you know what? If that one criminal guy could face his guilt and make his way to heaven, then Dan hopefully can and will too. So who knows? But boy, did I feel sorry for Trixie. I mean, out of everyone, Trixie was the one. I mean, they were all close to him, but he was her father, And yeah, he was Chloe's ex-husband, but he was her father. And a kid growing up without a father or any parent, that is going to be a hard, hard life, So that was just sad. But overall, this was a super awesome, hilarious. I never knew how unbelievably funny Dennis Haysbert could be simply by being calm and just being there. Like, he doesn't even have to try to be funny. Like, he is funny. I never knew how unbelievably funny he was. I do love how they resolved a lot of the daddy issue conflict between him and Lucifer. Like, some old wounds were closed, and peace was made between Lucifer, Amenadiel, their father, and even their mother, which was an unexpected but awesome treat. The other bombshell I was not expecting, aside from Dan's death, was I was very shocked to hear that Chloe was willing to quit the LAPD just so she could be with Lucifer if he became God. And it certainly looks that way, especially at the last line where he's like, "Oh my me." That was hilarious, because normally it's "oh my dad," but now it's "oh my me." That was awesome. Yeah, super funny, super emotional, and super shocking second half of the season. Like I said, Dennis Haysbert as God was amazing and awesome. I absolutely loved this musical episode. I loved most of those songs. I didn't know or think God would be the celestial responsible for it. I thought it'd be another celestial doing this shit, but it was actually just him and him alone, and that was hilarious to me. And like I said, I love how they could have all these standalone stories within the overlapping story of the Michael-Lucifer conflict. And then the Michael-Lucifer conflict thing really came to head in the final 2 episodes, which was okay because they were able to tell the story that they needed to in just those 2 episodes. And the rest of the season were all the other characters having ongoing conflicts with one another and within themselves. And that's what I think is so cool about this show, is that even after 5 years, characters who have had never-ending conflicts with one another and within themselves, and you think that they've figured their shit out and they can go on being semi-normal people, has still discovered that they still have a lot of conflict left to resolve before the show's ending. And that's okay, because conflict for us in this case is entertainment. So overall, I was quite pleased and satisfied with the second half of season 5. I hated seeing Dan go. I really hated, besides seeing him die, I really hated seeing Trixie's reaction to the learning of her father's passing. That I really hated. That was just heartbreaking. And the other thing that is more compelling about the 6th and final season is Dan that could hopefully and will return in some form or another in season 6. I'm really hoping that Trixie and Ella, or at least Ella, since she's the most faith-based religious one out of the whole gang, or at least amongst the humans, that she finally learns the truth about Lucifer. Because for a while there, it looks like she might have learned it in the second half of this season, but I guess they're waiting to do it for the final season or whatever. But you know what? That's okay, because that's probably on the cards, or at least I hope it is. So, what did you guys think of the second half of season 5? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you expecting more, expecting less? Did you like the second half more than the first half? Let me know down below in the comments section. Also, despite the heartbreak she endured, I love seeing Trixie a lot more often in the second half of this season as opposed to the first half, which we hardly saw her at all. So I was happy to see her back, even though a lot of it was very sad. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have an awesome rest of your night. Lucifer Season 5 Part 2 is now streaming on Netflix along with the rest of the series. No word or official premiere date as of yet for the 6th and final season, but time will tell. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching. And of course, until next time, what do you desire?